안녕하세요. Hello, my name is James Walsh. I am a 27-year-old English teacher from England. I have a bachelor's degree in business studies, and I also have a TEFL qualification. I have experience of teaching English in Korea. I taught in Bupyeong in Incheon for 1 year, working for an after-school academy. The students that I taught started from the age of 5 to 15, from kindergarten to middle school. I loved my time teaching in Korea. My students were very well behaved, hardworking, receptive, and friendly. I had a very good relationship with them. I also have teaching experience from my time in Thailand, and I volunteered as a teaching assistant in England. I love South Korea. I love the Korean way of life, the culture, and I found the people to be very friendly towards me. I taught students a range of English skills, from listening and speaking, to reading and writing, to pronunciation, and for my older students, grammar. I love teaching. It's my passion. I understand that when you teach in a foreign country, you have to be very patient with the students to give them time to learn the language. I try to encourage my students to speak as much English as they possibly can, but I also understand that it is difficult to learn a foreign language. My biggest skill is that I am patient in the classroom. I try to make learning fun for the students and get them engaged and interested in learning English. I'm going to give you an example of the type of lessons that I previously taught when I worked in Incheon. So this example was taken from a lesson that I taught to 7-year-old elementary students. You can see from the picture, it is a picture of snowy weather, and the question asks, what is the weather like in the picture? Now, I wanted to teach students basic English sentences. I didn't want to give them difficult material straight away. I would also help them with how to answer such questions. So I would write on the whiteboard in my classroom an example of how to answer the question. The weather is snowy in the picture, or the picture shows snowy weather. Again, another example. What is the weather like in the picture? Now, each student will have a copy of the picture and the question in front of them. And again, I would get them to answer and write down the weather is rainy in the picture, or the picture shows rainy weather. Now, one of the biggest tasks when I was teaching English was to encourage my students to speak. So the first half of this lesson would focus on writing down the answer to these questions. The second half of the lesson would be a time when the students would read the answers that they have written down out loud. So I would get 2 students to go to the front of the classroom, and one would ask the question, for example, what is the weather like in the picture? The other student would answer, the picture is of rainy weather, or the picture shows rainy weather. If I feel that the students are comfortable with answering the questions, I would then encourage them to write further answers. For example, what is your favourite type of weather? Again, the first part of that lesson would focus on writing down an answer. The second part of that lesson would focus on reading and practicing speaking English. That is just an example for you of the types of lessons that I have taught previously. My passion is to teach English. I strongly agree with what the great Nelson Mandela once said, that education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. And I feel like I can make a difference to the lives of the students that I teach. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. 감사합니다.